Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Daily English Stories, where I share my personal experiences and lessons to help you grow your English skills and your confidence. Today, I want to tell you a very personal story, a story about fear, the fear of speaking English, a fear that once controlled my every thought. Let's begin. There was a time when I couldn't even say a single English sentence confidently. Whenever someone spoke English, I froze. My heart started beating fast, my mouth went dry, and my brain just stopped working. I remember one day in school, my teacher asked me to introduce myself in English. It was a simple task. Everyone before me did it easily. But when it was my turn, I stood up, looked at the class, and suddenly everything went blank. I couldn't remember even the first line. My name is Yaman. The whole class laughed, and that moment broke something inside me. After that day, I promised myself I would never speak English again in front of people. For many years, I avoided every chance to speak English. Even if I knew the answer, I kept silent. Even if I wanted to talk, I pretended I didn't understand. Because I was scared. Scared of making mistakes, scared of being laughed at. But one day, something changed. I was watching a YouTube video. An English speaker was talking about fear. He said, "Fear never goes away. You just have to walk through it." Those words hit me hard. I realized that my fear wasn't the problem. The problem was my silence. I was waiting to be perfect before I spoke. But that perfect moment never came. That night, I decided to do something different. I took a notebook, stood in front of the mirror, and said, "My name is Yaman, and today, I'm going to speak English no matter how many mistakes I make." The first few days were terrible. I couldn't even say simple things correctly. I laughed at myself, but I didn't stop. Every night, I practiced talking to myself. I pretended I was in a conversation, ordering food, asking questions, telling stories. After a week, I downloaded an English conversation app. There were people from different countries ready to talk. I was nervous. My hands were shaking, but I clicked Start Chat. The person said, "Hi, how are you?" And I replied slowly, "I am fine. And you?" That small reply felt like a big victory because for the first time, I spoke English with a stranger. Days turned into weeks, and slowly my fear started to fade. I made mistakes, hundreds of them. Sometimes people didn't understand me. Sometimes they corrected me. But I learned something important. Nobody actually cared about my mistakes as much as I did. The more I spoke, the more confident I became. I started to notice progress. My pronunciation improved. My sentences got smoother. I could express my thoughts more clearly. I realized that English speaking is not about knowing all the grammar rules. It's about expressing yourself with confidence and heart. One day, my friend asked me to host a small online English speaking session. At first, I refused. The old fear came back. What if I make mistakes again? I thought. But then I remembered, fear only loses power when you face it. So I said yes. That day, I spoke in English for 20 minutes nonstop. Was it perfect? No, but it was real. And when I finished, everyone clapped. I realized the same voice that once trembled with fear was now inspiring others to speak confidently. If you're listening to this and you also have that same fear, let me tell you something straight from my heart. You don't need to be perfect to speak English. You just need to be brave enough to start. Start small. Talk to yourself in English for 5 minutes a day. Record your voice. Repeat what you hear in movies or YouTube videos. Join small English groups online. And most importantly, never laugh at yourself. Every mistake is a sign that you are trying, learning, and growing. I used to be the quiet one in the room, but today I speak English confidently in front of thousands. If I can do it, you can too. Remember this. Confidence doesn't come first. Practice does. And confidence follows practice like a shadow. So speak even when your voice shakes. Speak even when your grammar is wrong. Speak even when people don't understand. Because every word you speak takes you one step closer to fluency. I want to end today's episode with one line that changed my life. Don't wait for confidence to speak. Speak until you feel confident. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you found something valuable here, please follow and subscribe to our channel because every week I'll share real stories to help you speak English confidently and fearlessly. Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and never let fear silence your voice.